So you got to understand, we look at you.
Say that again.
Put it this way. We look at you, so say that you were everything I ever wanted in a woman. I would walk up, and when brothers look at me, I could have no money in my pocket, and they look at you be like, I won. Look at that. I won. I have her. I won. You are winning. And y'all don't understand that men equate you with winning. Even gangsters in hoods don't want a gangster in hood woman. They want a woman to show they are winning. Even in biblically, one of God's biggest things of loving a man is making sure he has a woman that's tantamount to his greatness. So as great as you are, that's as great as I am. So if you make me jump through hoops and lie to get you, guess what? I'm gonna jump through 5 hoops just to impress you. I'm gonna tell 10 lies just to get you, and I'm gonna knock off some people just to make sure you understand I'm for real.
Wow.
You are the prize, but y'all don't get that.
But all men are not motivated to work for the prize, though.
Yes, they are. They just not would do it legal ways. Some people run numbers, some people get work. You show me one dude has not worked to get a woman, and I'll show you a dude who's not alive. He has done something. If he's a gangbanger, check it out. If he's a gangbanger, he has brought you money. He has made sure you're safe. If there's a problem in the neighborhood, guess what? Nobody touches you.
But what about during the break? I asked you some question. Remember, during the break, I asked you a question, and you said, that's the one question that pisses me off.
What about men who sit around and let women do this, that, and the other?
Yes.
One, even that woman worked to get you and stopped once he got you. He worked to get you. And when he got you,
why isn't he motivated to keep doing the things he was doing to get you?
Because he's a boy.
That's
See,
true.
that's the thing about it. Like
That's
I said,
true.
y'all get the different delineations. You get the housewife, the skank, the librarian, the businesswoman. We get the man. and then you got to sit and listen to the conversation and see which one you're talking about. Oh, you talking about that man. I got you. But it offends me that I worked this hard to become a man, and then I get the same moniker or the same title as a dude who killed his wife and his children is in jail for, quadruple homicide. It's like, for real? You can't just call me like the man, without, call me the little man, but just separate me from this fool. You see what I'm saying? And people don't understand. Real men have walked into women's lives and walked out because real men do not announce themselves and say, hey, I'm a real man. When people act like when I got with my wife is beautiful. And I don't say beauty as far as physical. She's attractive, but I'm talking about beauty as far as spirit. And even when she's a little rough on the edges, you can see that. And people were like, y'all didn't get together, y'all know for each other. She said, I couldn't get with him and do the things that I was doing. And I knew that. So I wasn't willing to, even if he stepped to me, I wasn't willing to get with him until I was in a position where I could reciprocate.
That's what she was saying.
That's what she said. Because people like, you knew each other for 4 years. Why didn't you? She said, I couldn't play games and be with him. He ain't having it. We'd have been the most dysfunctional couple on the planet. He'd have been telling me, I'm out, and I'd have been like, stay, I'm going to change, knowing I'm not. You see what I'm saying? And vice versa. If you ever saw the movie Love Jones, right? My friend wrote the poem, and it got butchered by Lorenz Tate because they had to cut it down. Not to say he butchered it, but they had to cut it down. But they said, is your name Yemiya or Oshun? Well, he's Yoruba, and in it, those two deities represent the parts of women that affect men. That's not the only thing, but one of them, he was saying, I forgot which one, is the part of a woman that makes a man want to be a man. And then it's the part that makes a man want to do better. And so that's when he was saying, are you Yemiya or Oshun? Because all of a sudden I got this idea that I got to do, I got to be, and all other kind of stuff. And when a woman is like that, that's why brothers fake it. Because it's like, I can't step to you and be wrong. So I got to be right long enough to get you hooked, and then I figure you'll stay. And vice versa. And see vice versa. So what happens is a real man is not going to come up to you and proclaim himself. He's going to stand there, and if you don't watch it and look, he's like, oh, she don't know what's up. They're going to go. And never say a word. I've been in rooms where women were talking about real men this and real men that, and it was women who I was going to talk to, and I was like, wow, I'm so glad I waited 5 minutes to see what comes out of your mouth.
Wow.
Because that just saved me at least 5 weeks of finding out that there's nothing for me to do with you. And I've walked out, and to this day they don't know. It's women who I was going to talk to until they open their mouths, and to this day they don't know. Because it's not for me to proclaim. I'm not some holy grail of manhood that your life is going to be terrible. But I guarantee what? It's not going to be with me. So you have to understand that real men walk in and out of your lives every day. As soon as you open your mouth saying that mess, they're like, oh, I'm done. I'm not doing a reclamation. And a real man will not date a woman he has to raise.
And vice versa.
Ding. If you raise me and get with me,
Thank you.
I got issues with you.
That's it.
What does that mean?
In other words, if I got to bring you up, and I am not talking about someone who helps you along the way or helps your maturation process. If I got to be your father, you can't be my woman.
That's true.
That's
Okay,
a real
I got you.
feeling.
And if you are my mama, I can't be your man.
Got you.
Those roles are etched.
And I have something to say about that, because sometimes older men, they'll be like 23 or let's go real, 16, 20 years older than the woman, and then keep saying what he did before they were born and this and that and the other and blah, blah, blah. So he turns into the daddy during the day. But then at night, he wants you to be, and that feels yicky to a woman to sleep with their daddy.
Yeah.
So either they're going to be someone that respects you as their peer or the wife and knock all that I'm your daddy during the day, so you'll be more receptive to him, and vice versa sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, so that works both
And like my
ways.
wife is 12 years younger than me.
Yeah,
And she was like, is the age difference going to bother you? I said, as long as I don't have to use it to justify your behavior or being with you. I said, at the point I got to say, well, she's young, we done. At the point that I have to say that,
Like you my daddy.
then we just cool. But I never have to say that. And people don't ever differentiate our behavior in age. They're like, you can be as young and silly as her, and she can be, quote unquote, as mature as you, whatever that means. But in the context of it, there is no gap between us.
Yes.
There is no gap that I have to fill with a time frame and say, well, you like the Beatles and, you know, I like whoever. You know, it's just like we're together. And at the point that I got to justify with age, we done.
Interesting. You know, I'm still stuck on that whole notion that, you know, we as women, single women, we run into real men all the time, and they disappear. We don't even realize it. We're busy doing something else. I want to hear more about that, because there are a lot of single women out there. So that tells me that we're missing out and we don't know it. That's scary to me. I'm somebody
It's
who's
like this. Did this desk tell you it was a desk? Did you walk in and be like, hey, I'm a desk, put stuff on me? Even if you just walked in and never saw the building, you'd be like, oh, I can put my stuff on that. Oh, this is a chair, I can sit on this. The truth of the matter is, once we recognize something, we look at it, we can tell its usefulness and what it can be used for. Real men get pissed off when you look at us and can't tell what we're good for. It means you have no insight.
I mean, that is deep.
But if we don't know you and you're not telling us.
Put it this way. The thing about it is, I am telling you. The thing about it.
No, but if you're coming into a party and you don't say a word
let me tell you something.
to me, how do I know? I don't know anything about you.
One of the most amazing women I've ever met, Norma Jean Freeman, wife of Dr. Freeman. If you go back to the Black Power days, if you were in the RAM movement, you had to study under Dr. Freeman. Norma Jean Freeman is the only woman I've ever seen who would walk in the room and the nature of the room would change when she walked in. And it's not when people looked at her. We would be playing cards and using profanity and cussing, and she would walk in the door and all of a sudden everybody would just stop cussing. And we would turn around and we'd be like, oh, you here. What's up? Talk to us. Men would talk to her for advice. There's a presence that a person has. Like there's a presence this desk has that you can tell this is a desk. And men recognize it in women. That's why they're like, well, how do the good women always end up with the bad men? It's because we know what you look like. And we chase you.
That's deep. So
we
gotta
chase you.
Somebody else may have to take this spot, but we do the same thing to women. We do this if you be honest with it. Oh, look at her, she a hooch, or oh, look at her, she's a church. We kind of sometimes have that sixth sense about us as a woman, but we don't have that as for a man.